Hey guys, and welcome back to another week of Do You Accept This Rose? Will you accept this rose? So we didn't record last week, and we don't remember what happened last week other than the fact that Kit and Abigail went home. Kit sent herself home. Matt, heartlessly sent Abigail home.
Yeah, okay, I do just want to point out that the way that he sent Abigail home, we need to touch on it just for like a minute.
Okay.
He basically told her, well, so it came about because she sits down with him and is like, hey, like, I haven't really been with you, like, since...
Oh, and she was the only one that hadn't had a one-on-one yet.
Yes, so she's like, we had a great, like, connection, but, like, I'm getting a little worried, but also, like, I still, like, care really deeply about you, and basically, she didn't say I'm falling in love with you, but was, like, implying, like, I'm nervous, but I still really like you, and that prompted him to be like, now that you mention it, I think that I have stronger connections with other girls. And he basically was like, I felt so good about you from the first night that I basically forgot about you.
Yeah.
And
he was
now
like,
I'm sending
I thought
you
we
home.
had such a good connection that I just didn't think we ever had to nurture the relationship. And from us not nurturing the relationship, like, I got further along with other people.
Yeah, so, like, not fair to her at all. So then she goes home. And it's awful. And then Kit, out of nowhere, is like, I don't think this is right for me.
Yeah.
And just leaves. And I miss her.
And I miss her.
So now we are in hometowns. So we have Michelle, Rachel, Bree, and Serena P are left.
Yes. So the first one to get the hometown date is Michelle, which was super cute. They showed up matching in the same, like, color scheme of a shirt. It was like a blue shirt.
Yeah, I liked her shirt a lot. She's beautiful.
Yeah, I really vibe with her. She ends up, like, taking him. They go on a bike ride, and then they go and they do, like, a Zoom call with her students, which was so cute. And they were like, what's his last name?
James.
Okay, so they were calling him, like, Mr. James. They were like, oh, this is Mr. James. And they're like, is that your boyfriend? And then they were like, are you going to marry her? Like, all these, like, tough questions. And I'm like, whoa, you're young, but, like, fierce.
I know, I saw a tweet that was like, these poor kids are going to lose their minds when they find out that he has 3 other girlfriends.
Or they're going to, I was laughing because I'm like, probably all their moms are, like, hiding behind the camera being like, ask them this.
I know, right? Yeah, they were like, can you, something about, like, kissing. He was like, are you going to kiss her? And they were like, whoa. And I think he, like, kissed her hand or something.
Oh, so cheesy. So they really vibe, and then they go back and meet her parents.
They're so cute.
Her parents were adorable. But yeah, so they were like, I think her parents really vibe with him.
Yeah, I think her dad was, like, a little apprehensive, but, like, in a normal way of like, oh, you're with other women. Her mom got, like, really emotional and was like, do you love him? And she's like, I think I do. And then they, like, cry. I'm laughing, but it was, like, sweet. So she's like, I'm gonna tell him. So she tells him that she's falling in love with him, and he doesn't say it back, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, she doesn't care. So it was good. It was a good date.
She doesn't care.
She doesn't seem worried about it at all.
Okay.
So then the next date is Rachel.
Whoa.
She zooms up to the mansion on this weird car. I don't know what it was. But she's like, do you trust me? And then she blindfolds him.
I guess they did this exact same date with Colton and Tasha. Tasha took Colton on this exact same date. Like, picked him up in the car and went skydiving.
That's infuriating.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway, so they end up going skydiving together, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I don't get. I guess my confusion is, so, like, last season with Tasha, all of them are like, okay, like, this is connection to my hometown because of this, right?
Yeah.
What are the connection to any of their hometowns by, like, being like...
The only one that had one was
Michelle.
Serena. Oh, Michelle and Serena did the Canadian thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rachel's, I feel like, was just a
like,
big
let's
flex.
Go skydiving. Yeah.
Here is my other thing that I think that we've mentioned before. The guys on Tasha's season had a budget of, like, $20 for, like, what they could do on their date.
But, like, I feel like it made it more heartfelt.
It did. So, like, yeah, theirs were more personal, but I feel like we need to have a discussion about, like, clearly.
Sorry, my hip just, like, didn't. Okay.
Clearly, the Bachelor producers value like the Bachelor more than the Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Because like they're going
Sexist.
all in on this. So like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not surprising to find out that a show like this would have like sexist
Yeah,
producers,
I know.
but
Crazy.
like what the heck? So
Okay, but anyway, so they go skydiving. And they jump out, like everything's awesome. They're having a blast. And then Matt lands, awesome. And you're supposed to land like, so I've gone skydiving before, and you're supposed to like, the person, you're doing tandem, and the person in front is supposed to like put their legs up, and you're supposed to just like peacefully like sit down on the grass when you land. That's not at all what happened when Rachel landed. Like Rachel just slammed into the ground.
like what went wrong? That's what I was trying to think of, because it's not like they opened it too late or something.
I don't know if they like picked up too much speed or maybe like hit some wind or something that like
yeah.
caused them to like not have a. But she was like roughed around.
It
And,
was like
Scary.
watching it like makes me like cringe. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like amazing that nothing was wrong.
I'm
with her.
surprised she didn't cry.
I know. I feel like I would have been like, I don't want to, like, the date's over.
Yeah. And then she like, so then after that they go to the nighttime portion where it's her parents and her sister there. And she was like, she said she had so much makeup on because her face was bruised.
Yeah. Oh my. And her parents were like, wait, what did you guys do today? Like, you could tell that they were like in parent defense mode.
Yeah. She was like, literally, I got whacked in the face by the ground.
Like, I hope that someone checked her for like a concussion.
Probably. They
Yeah.
probably did. They just weren't like showing that on camera.
Also, I just found it, I think just because I don't enjoy Matt in general, now everything he does just annoys me. But he like runs to her and is like, oh my goodness, you have no idea how scared I was. Like made it completely about like, I
Yeah.
was so scared, blah, blah, blah.
Also,
and I'm like,
like,
dude.
And Rachel was like, he was really there for me. And then people were like, he didn't even like sprint towards you. He like
No.
half jogged.
And he was just like, wow, that was really scary. And I'm like, dude, she's the one laying with grass like down her throat.
Yeah.
And probably can't see straight.
Yeah. Her dad didn't really like the whole concept of her being on The Bachelor. Like kind of thought it was weird.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like all of these parents have like very valid concerns. So I'm not going to be like, oh my God, shame on him, you know?
Yeah.
He's not signing up for it. His daughter is. So like.
And he like kind of hit the nail right on the head because he was like, I feel like everything you're saying to us and to her, you're saying to the other women and their families.
Yeah.
Like,
Which like he was.
yeah. And he's like, how can you actually care about her if you're dating 3 other people? And I'm like, you're exactly right, bro.
But the thing, so after they left the family, Rachel was basically like, well, like they somehow got talking about how if she would want Matt to ask for her dad's blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I'm not going to ask him until I know it's you because like then I'd have to ask 4 dads and like that just doesn't seem genuine.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, that's so valid.
Yeah, like
if
I got it.
Yeah, if they're not actually like into just your daughter, why would you want them asking for your blessing? Crazy.
Yeah, and if they're not gonna actually ask her.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
Yeah.
But she was like, I didn't really like that he didn't do that. I'm
And I'm like, you
okay.
need to relax.
He's not doing it for anyone. So
Yeah.
then we move on to Bree.
Mm-hmm.
They off-road in a Jeep, and that's like all they do.
She was like, oh, we're gonna like redo our first date when they went like off-roading in the Jeep. But I'm like, why do you need to do that again?
Yeah, it just wasn't. It didn't seem.
It
very
wasn't like entertaining.
fun.
I kind of was
Yeah.
like, whatever. Okay, and then they go on to like meet her family, and it's her mom, her best friend, and then like her sister. And her sister is like a literal baby.
That was the first time she met her. I didn't realize that.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because I think she was born like so recent that she hadn't gotten to meet her yet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because her mom,
Got
I like remembered when I was watching the date that she was the one who like had Bree when she was like 13 or something.
like really, really young.
And now is like just had another child, and she was the one who was like, oh, I feel like I'm being left behind. Like I'm not, but I feel that way.
Yeah.
So that was like a big moment.
Yeah.
He got to be there for it.
Yeah. So, and it's cute that like the BFF came too. Like that's sweet.
Yeah, also named Bree.
Yeah. But but like her mom was kind of like whatever, like awesome. There was nothing really like monumental about that hometown, like, you know?
No, not really. Except she says that she's falling in love with Matt to him, and he literally hits her with the "thank you for sharing that with me."
Which it's like, that's a no-go. You know it's not
Yeah. So yeah, okay, moving right on to Serena
Moving
P.
on. I feel like this is always like such a quick like recap because it's like none of the girls are interacting with each other either.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of the same format for hometowns every time.
Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that Serena P was 22.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Really young.
I also forgot she was from Canada, but
Me too.
okay, so I guess we'll get to that. But so she's from Canada, her parents, how were they able to visit?
I mean,
Maybe
I'm sure
it was
that
later
like
in COVID where you were allowed to visit.
probably, and I'm sure that they pulled like the whole like this is for a TV show.
Or and all the producers probably were like, okay, we'll help you with whatever like paperwork you need and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe they just had to come like a little earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so like she's Canadian, so she brings him to this like bar and is like, I'm gonna teach you how to be Canadian, like all the basics. She teaches him like Canadian catchphrases and like they eat Canadian food, and it's like cute. I think that she's so adorable.
Yeah.
She's just like laughing away.
Yeah.
But
I'm also like, how did you get this far? You
yeah.
know? Because it just like felt random. I'm like, I guess they like kind of got along, but I never was like, oh, she's a front runner and now she's like on a hometown date, you know?
But I think that goes back to like the editing this season was just really bad.
Yeah.
We probably weren't seeing a lot of things.
That's true.
So then he goes and meets her family, which is her parents and her sister. And her sister is like, I don't think that you're like into him. Like, I can just tell. And she's like, I think you like the idea of him. I think it was
her
like
sister or her mom?
I think her sister said like, you're not smitten with him.
Yeah, okay.
But maybe it was her mom who was like, I
also was like, you're not into him either.
Yeah, like he checks all the boxes, but like you don't actually like him.
I think it also was like, you're on the show, you feel pressured, like you have to like them.
Yeah.
And if you don't like them, then that's kind of like you're weird.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes it's like you just don't like who the lead is. Like that's not your fault. You can just be like, I'm all set.
Yeah, and you don't know who it is until you get there, or until you're already on, right? No, you do know.
No,
who it is.
depends. Like sometimes you sign up for like a specific person, but sometimes it's like whoever.
Yeah, you were literally just taking his shot.
Yeah.
I feel like
it is weird though. You very rarely see like people send themselves home.
I know, which I feel like should be more common.
But I think people are so caught up in like the limelight and they're just like the attention that they're like, oh my God, like I have to like this person.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so she realizes, she's like, oh, maybe I don't actually like him. And so then like once they leave her family, she basically is like, I have questions. And he's just kind of like, okay. You know, like I feel like he doesn't really like reassure her that like.
No. Like the impression I got from him was like, oh, well, he's not that into her anyways.
Yeah.
Because he clearly doesn't care.
Yeah.
But then like before the rose ceremony, Chris Harrison talks to him about it and he's like, I need like
clarity.
Yeah. So he goes to her and she's like, yeah, I'm like, I don't think I'm all in. Like, sorry. And then he apparently, I mean, like he acted like he was like straight up in love with her.
Yeah.
He like starts crying.
I think it's probably like weird for him that like someone's sending themselves home. Like Kit sent herself home, but like maybe this is different because it's a little bit further on.
That's true. I guess it's kind of like a
catch-22.
Yeah. Well, I think afterward he was like, how am I supposed to know if these other girls like me?
Yeah, or they're just not going to send themselves home too.
Yeah, because she's the third person to send herself home this season.
Who else sent themselves home?
Sarah, Kit.
Oh, right.
Serena.
Yeah, that's true.
That's like a blow to the ego.
Yeah. But also like valid. Like not everyone's going to like you. And not everyone's going to be like, this is the process I want to experience. So.
Yeah. So she walks him out, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because like, when does that ever happen?
Yeah, because they were at her hotel room. Yeah. So like they had to. And then they go to the rose ceremony and it's Rachel, Bree, and Michelle. So all three of them get the roses. But the thing that was interesting is like, so he gave it in order of like Michelle, Rachel, then Bree. And typically like what we've always said is like the order in which they give the rose is like important.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave the rose to Brie last, and Brie kind of was like, that's kind of annoying. Why was I the last one to get it?
Because she was in the middle too of like they were standing in a line. She was in the middle. I would have just gone like Michelle, Brie, Rachel, and just been like, oh, I just went in order.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of obvious when you skip over the one in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she caught on to that and didn't like it.
Yeah, exactly. And she probably knows that like the order matters, and like if you're last, like you're kind of like last on the list.
Do you think he actually hesitates as long as he does between the names, or do you think that's editing? I guess they do that for like all Bachelor and Bachelorettes. Like, you know how they'll be like Michelle, and then like 20 seconds go by and it's silent, and then he's like Rachel. Do you think it's actually that long?
I don't know. Maybe.
'Cause that's awkward.
Yeah.
That's like building suspense.
Maybe they have to like reacquaint themselves, and everyone has to like get back in their place again or something.
Oh.
I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah, that is weird though. So
I was just like, because I feel like the long wait makes it seem like he's like going back and forth in his head more than he actually is.
yeah, I think he knows who he's gonna give it to, but
yeah.
So next week, them three get to go to like fantasy suites, which I'm interested to see how they do fantasy suites at this place, because like last time they literally did it in like an RV. So like I guess this will be like an interesting experience.
This is gonna be like
they're all
absolutely
gonna get their own
beautiful.
They're all gonna get their own houses. It's gonna be like the most gorgeous experience ever.
It's gonna be ridiculous. And they kind of made it look like Rachel leaves, but like I doubt she does.
Oh yeah. And, and then next week is Women Tell All. So we're not gonna do a
well, there isn't. It's just Women Tell All.
Yeah, it's not like
that's weird that they don't do like 2 nights.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess
I don't think they have to rush it. You know how like Tasha season they had to rush it to be like done so they could start Matt's? Like I don't think they have to rush this one. So there's only 3 weeks left. Because you have Women Tell All, and then after that it's Fantasy Suites, and then the last one will be the finale, and then we'll get like after the final rose maybe.
Yeah.
But so yeah.
Okay. So I mean, we'll be back in 2 weeks then.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for listening.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.